Marky Mark spent 45 days in the pokey after attacking a Vietnamese man on the street and beating him with a wooden stick. The charges were attempted murder and assault. The charges were later dropped and the case was settled out of court. Robert spent 1 year in prison for trespassing into his neighbor's house and passing out on a bed from being on some kind of drug. He also missed drug testing, which cost him more time. He has since kicked his heroin habit and has become the toast of Hollywood with his roles as Tony Stark aka Iron Man, Good Old Blade. He went and served serious time for tax evasion. The Wesley Snipes saga began in 2006 when he was accused of tax fraud. He was originally indicted on charges of attempting to claim nearly $12 million in fraudulent tax refunds and not filing any tax returns for several years. He served 900 days and was released in 2013. Tim the Tool Man went to jail? He sure did. Alan went to prison for 2 years as he was caught with 1.4 pounds of cocaine and drug trafficking. Howdy ho neighbor. How good is that mugshot? Fiddy was sentenced to 6 months in shock incarceration boot camp where he received his GED. He was caught with heroin, crack, and a gun in his home. In related news, 50 is claiming bankruptcy and admitted that he rents his jewelry when making appearances. What a pile. The most loved of the Beatles, McCartney was sentenced to jail for 10 days after being caught with a half-pound of marijuana at Tokyo's airport. Shit, that wouldn't even get you a night in jail nowadays. The former porn star Paris Hilton served 3 days in jail after she violated her probation. She was also pulled over for speeding and driving without a license. She was also arrested for poor taste, over-publicity and for being a complete idiot. Okay, wait, that's not true but she should be. The rapper or aka Weezy was sentenced to 5 months in prison for having marijuana and illegal weapons on his tour bus. Did that slow down our little thug? Heck no. He's out and skating and rapping and enjoying his ridiculously fun life. Lohan has spent between 84 minutes and 14 days on several stints behind bars. She was charged with misdemeanor theft and violating probation. She's dodged more jail time than O.J. Simpson. Speaking of O.J., the unconvicted murderer of his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her boyfriend Ron Goldman finally got his comeuppance. He was found guilty, a make-good in my opinion, in 2008 and sentenced to 33 years in prison for robbery, kidnapping, coercion, and conspiracy. Finally this murdering piece of crap is gone. Martha had to spend 5 months in federal prison for insider trading and for lying to federal investigators when she was being questioned for corporate fraud. Rodriguez spent 18 days in jail for violating her probation, which was from a DUI case. She also didn't attend her community service hours or educational classes. Machete. He wasn't always an actor, you know. The tattooed star was sentenced to prison for 11 years for drugs and robbery early in his life and later found Jesus in prison and turned his life around. He's now the ugliest actor in Hollywood. The rapper was sentenced to 2 years and 4 months for possession because of owning illegal guns and tax evasion. Seems to be a theme with rappers. Lil Kim had to go to prison for 1 year and 1 day for lying to a federal grand jury about a friend's involvement in the shooting. Later her ex-fiancé was convicted of ordering 6 murders when he was in charge of a brutal drug gang in New York.